Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. Just a quick recap. So we're in the world of purification and mainly external purification. We said there's two types of purifications, right? One is basically just your body, your clothes, things like that, right? Your body, clothes, and we already talked about how to clean that. Okay, and then the second is ritual. And even in ritual, there's two. There's in order to purify yourself, you could be in the minor impurity, and then you could be in major impurity, in the status of major impurity. And what we're talking about when we say ghusl, we are in the world of major impurity. And major impurity, if you are in the state of major impurity, you have to do what we call ghusl, or take a bath. Okay, now we would be covering this topic right here, and first thing, how to do it. But before we get into that, when to do it, right? Because the goal, whether let's say you're in the state of minor or major, if you follow whatever you're supposed to do to get out of minor impurity or major impurity, now you are pure, right? And when you're in the state of purity, now it's okay to pray. It's okay to pray. The goal is to be in this state, in the state of purity, whether you're in minor or major. So right now, for example, you were in the state of major impurity. What do you have to do to get out of it in order to be pure? But the key is, well, when do I know that I'm in the state of major impurity? So number one, first of all, it is something that is legislated by Allah, that you cannot pray unless you're in the state of purity, and especially if you're in the state of major impurity, you have to get out of it. So when does a person become impure? So number one, sexual intercourse. Okay, sexual intercourse. Now what does that mean? Of course, when spouses get together and have sexual intimacy, that is considered sexual intercourse in Islam. Now, keep in mind that this is simply, two, private parts. And I know this could be uncomfortable. It is a little uncomfortable for me to talk about this, but basically private parts entering each other. That's it. Doesn't have to be, your semen or sexual discharge, coming out. It's just simply as soon as your private parts enter each other, that is considered sexual intercourse, and now you are in the state of major impurity. Number two, ejaculation. Now, what is that? What's the difference? This could be, of course, whether you could be through sexual intimacy or even wet dream, right? So you have a wet dream, your semen came out, male or female, out of your private parts. That is considered ejaculation, and ghusl or bath is compulsory, and you're in the state of major impurity. Now, number three is basically after your menstruation cycle or post-natal bleeding. So we know time of the month, once a month or so, if a woman goes through her period, after it's done, she has to basically, during that time, she can't even pray, right? So that's actually a blessing. You can say that while a woman is going through her menstruation cycle, she doesn't have to pray. But after she's done, and we'll talk about what that means when she's, how do you know that you're done? Once she's done, she has to be in the state of purity. So while she's going through the cycle, she is not in the state of purity. She's basically in the major impurity category, right? She's in the state of major impurity. She has to do ghusl as soon as she's done her monthly period. At the same time, a woman gives birth, there's a lot of bleeding, it goes on for a month or so, a little over a month. After she's done, then she has to get into the state of purity, and she has to do ghusl. Couple more. Again, if you number 4, some scholars even mention that when you accept Islam, you should do ghusl, because mainly you might be you're not even in the state of purity, because maybe you're having sexual intimacy with your wife, and all of a sudden you probably never took a bath, right? You just cleaned your private parts and walked out and said, hey, you know what, this is okay in our culture. But now that you have to once you become a Muslim and you have to pray, then it's important for you to immediately go and take a bath. Now you're in the state of purity. So this is just, I'm sure this can be this is something that some scholars say, yeah, you have to right away or not. But the key is, after you become a Muslim, before you start praying, you have to be in the state of purity, and for that you have to take a bath. And of course, more on that later. How do we take a bath? And another one, just it's a good side note to know that that once a person dies, right, you have basically before the funeral or before you bury the person in the ground, it's important for you to give them a bath. And it's the same way. Of course, some rules are a little bit different. This is somebody else is giving a bath to the dead person, but this is something good to know, that yes, when a person dies, you don't just take them to any funeral home. You should consult with your mosque and talk to somebody who knows how to give bath to the dead body, and it's actually their right. The dead Muslims' right, that you give them a bath and bury them, and we have to attend their funeral and whatnot. But these are the key points to know, that sexual intercourse, private parts entering, whether you ejaculate or not, once the private parts enter each other, that is compulsory for you to do ghusl. Ejaculation, whether it's caused by wet dream or any other reasons, you got to do ghusl. Number 3 is time of the month, menstruation, postnatal bleeding. After that bleeding is done, you have to take ghusl. When you first accept Islam, and also when any of our family members or somebody in the community dies, we have to give them a bath. So these are some of the times when the ghusl becomes obligatory. Let's move on to the next lesson, talk this topic of ghusl in detail.